can agree with you that a lot of women don't really know how to make a house a home, right? I think majority do, but a lot of them don't. So why is it easy for you to believe that, but you believe all men know how to be leaders in their household? Like, why is it that we're giving this thing that all men know how to be leaders just off the back of them growing, being raised with a penis? But when it comes to women, you know, not
So
all know how to
let
do.
me address this. There's a difference between being an effective leader and being a terrible leader. Because whether you're leading well or not, there's going to be somebody following you. That's the reason why it's so important for you to get the people who are bad influences out. Because guess what? Your influence is just that. There's going to be people that's following your negative behavior, right? And you're still a leader. But what you guys are talking about, you only focus on the good leaders. As far as, oh, men just think that they're leaders. Yes, men are leaders. You just got to figure out what kind of leader that you got. Like, I'm perfectly fine with the statement that all men are dogs. But if you look at some dogs are intelligent, they're obedient, they're helpful. They're actually support animals to people that have anxiety. You need to figure out what kind of dog you got. Now, if you got a dog that's humping everything, then that's a bad dog. Or he don't listen and he don't do the things that you need him to do. But if you got a dog that respects and cares for you, and then he makes sure that he watches after you, he listens to you, he does the things that you need. There's a reason why they say that dogs are man's best friend. Shoot, there's many times people treat dogs better than they treat men. So it's like, listen,
Mm.
I think that it is perfectly fine to be out here and say that all men are dogs. You just need to figure out what kind of dog you got.
I think that it's crazy to
I'm
believe that all
allergic.
men are leaders. I don't think that all men are leaders. First,
So no, you what you're focused on, all men aren't good leaders.
no, no,
All
no.
men
I
are
said what
leaders.
I said. All men are leaders.
Yes, all men are leaders, but not
I don't.
all men are good leaders. You have men that are
I
terrible
think to be
leaders.
a leader, that I think that
There's
that's
some
one thing.
men that look for women to take the reins, so those men are not leaders.
No, they are leaders.
I think
A
that you
smart
don't just put
leader,
out the
a
word
smart
leader.
leader knows where to delegate in his weaknesses. That's the reason why you have so many people that are CEOs that hire everybody else to do their job instead of them doing the job themselves. He's
No,
still a leader and he
HD,
delegates.
you're not a leader if the woman is leading. We hear it all the time that the problem is that women are leading relationships. So, in that regard, if the woman is leading the relationship, the man is not the leader.
So you're sitting here telling me that if a woman is leading the relationship, that wasn't by design?
Not in no, not intentional, because I would
It
think
is intentional. If he
no,
doesn't want to step up to do the things you want him to do, it's intentional.
no.
He
So
wants you to do it so he ain't got to do it.
then that's not leading.
It
You're
is
saying
leading. It's
no,
not good leadership, but it is leading.
HD. Come on, you're intelligent. Please stop.
I
That's what
am
you say and
intelligent.
you're
That's the
laughing.
reason
If
why.
you're laughing, no, that's
And
not
he can
leadership.
laugh. But just because you are the leader does not mean you are a good leader. And you just want to get focused on a good leader, an effective leader, a leader that does the things that you want to. You're only focused on that. You're not focusing on the fact that when you are a leader, that means you have somebody that is following you. That means you have influence. Women always talk about being
Right.
partners.
So
If you are a
if
partner,
you're
that
not
means
leading,
both of you guys are leaders.
based on what you just said, if you are a leader, that means somebody's following and you have influence. If a man is not providing that and the woman, he's following behind the woman, and I know y'all have known men like that follow behind their woman. If he's following behind a woman and she's influencing him, therefore, by your definition, she is the leader.
She
He's
is
not.
a leader, not the leader. Because at the end of the day, even if she's
All
leading
right,
that
HD,
relationship, he
I
is
bow out.
still
You got
that's
it.
great. You can bow out. But the simple fact of the matter is even though she's leading that relationship and that relationship is more than likely going to end, who they going to hold responsible? Him or her?
They're
Exactly.
gonna say why you weren't leading.
Exactly.
So that's
The
not
reason
I
the
didn't even
leading.
get
reason
the
being
question. I
is they
said
still
that.
gonna hold him accountable because he's still the leader, even though he was dumb enough
No,
to let you
they're
lead.
gonna hold him accountable because he wasn't leading.
Yes, because he is the leader. That's why.
But he wasn't doing what
That's
just so
leading,
so
but not
so
the
listen.
leader.
So what she's saying is he wasn't
I
doing
know
what
what
men
she's
are
saying.
what men are designed to do. It just like when you were talking about the woman, she wasn't doing what women you feel like women were designed to do, right?
So you're saying he has the title of leader, but the behavior doesn't match the title. If you want to say that, I can go for that. You can say,
Because
as a man, he should be a leader. But if he's not acting in that role and somebody else is, therefore he's not acting in that role. It's just by title only then. I'll
no,
say that.
because ultimate responsibility and accountability lies on him. Just by that sheer fact, when it fails, he's the one that's held responsible. He's the one that's held accountable.
So
By
let me
that fact,
makes
that
him a leader.
makes him the leader,
So
the
if that is
manager, the
the case,
ultimate accountability where it stops. However,
okay.
to your point mistaken, he was derelict in his duties if he's following a woman and allowing her to lead. But by me using the word allow, that suggests that it's by design, thus HD's point. But I just kind of simply disagree with the premise, mainly because if you're following, you're not leading.
Let me
That
ask
at
you.
the end of the day,
So let me ask you a question. Let's go with HG's point. The man is the leader. So why is it that when a woman gets pregnant, he first want to buy? Why he don't want to lead with them kids? When he get up, it ain't her.
Because
It
he
ain't
didn't
his,
believe
all
in.
of a sudden it ain't his fault. He had nothing to do with it. All of a sudden, if they want to put him on child support or take him to court, he got an opportunity to lead on out the door.
So
ultimate accountability falls on her body, her choice, her call. And since, like, going back to that same
I
definition,
don't think that's true.
since accountability ends up on the woman,
I don't think that's true.
that would make her in charge of her own body.
I don't think.
That is kind of on her if we're gonna follow the same
So
logic.
if you're you're saying he's not in charge of his own body because that sperm came out of his body.
She let it in hers.
But he has no control over his sperm. He's a leader and he
and
has
she
no
has no control
control
over her legs.
over his he he's a leader, but he has no he you want him to control a
See,
household, but he can't even control the one thing that he produces in his body. He can't control where it goes.
so you're making me you're forcing me into a position that I don't hold. But
Listen, I'm just trying to
but
figure out the leadership.